Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Motherland Fort Salem, episode 204, titled Not Our Daughters, which premiered Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 on Freeform. I'm recording the following day on the 14th, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. A lot of stuff, I guess you could say, happened. But it's definitely interesting now because now I have no spoilers going into it, or no accidental spoilers, I should say, due to the mix-up I had in the previous 3 episodes. So let's get right into this. Hopefully I will do this in less than 20 minutes. But let's see what I picked up. Again, this was a tease and 6-act structure. I'm slowly getting used to thinking of that many commercial breaks and like twists and turns that you can leave on a cliffhanger to go to commercial. But let's get into it with what happened in this episode. So timeline wise, I'm thinking it's shortly after the events of 203, only because of the state of Abigail's voice. At the end of 203, we saw her trying to make her own working with the weather storm. Adele finds her as she collapses. She's spitting up blood, and it looked like she was bleeding from her throat. So I think maybe it's the next day after when 203 was supposed to happen, because the storm is still in progress. And she's like really like her throat's like it's not completely healed from what she did. So that's why I don't think too much time has passed. The episode reminder though is the fact that this is the opening of the test center to find lost witches, as they're claiming it to be. So because of that though, there's actually a huge chunk of this episode is really focused on that particular storyline as we get into this one. So there's that first storyline of recruitment mayhem, and then a second storyline which is no references anywhere. So with the first storyline, I'm going to say is that this is when the first test center for Lost Witches opening up for possible new recruits for the military. We have Penelope Silver being the poster child for this center. We have our coven, which includes Rael, Abigail, Tally, Gregorio, and M acting as security detail for this recruitment center. We also have people protesting against them about recruiting with the phrase "not our daughters," not wanting to have their own children being recruited into the military, and possible Camarilla members within the protesters themselves. We definitely see Jack Orsatti there, but we also do see Anacosta and Scylla there undercover as one of the protesters. They kind of got recognized by Bonnie and her husband Shane. But they were solely focused on Anacosta and Scylla, that is, on Jack and what he's doing and why he's stalling at this recruitment. Let's just say things go off with a bang and people were hurt. We'll get back to that later, though. Second storyline, though, is no references anywhere, and this has to deal with Tally trying to find research about Alder's connection to Sergeant Nikta Batten. But all the history books say that wherever Tally's dream memories are occurring, I don't remember the location, but all the history books say that Alder was not anywhere near that location, anywhere near that mission. And she even asked Petra Bellwether, Abigail's mom, about it, and she even confirms that Alder wasn't anywhere near that mission. And questioning Tally, like, where'd you get your facts? And she advises maybe going to someone who's closer to the mission, not realizing that Tally literally has her recurring memories from Alder about that mission. So that's kind of funny. So there's that. But the last moments of the episode is Tally storming into General Alder's office and demanding to know who was Nikta Batten. And all the biddies are on guard with it. So I want an answer to that, and I hope the next episode picks up from that moment, because I really want to know what Alder's going to say to this demand. But let's get into tidbits very quickly. This is the episode where Alder finds out that Anacosta has gone undercover with Scylla to try to find the leadership of the Camarilla, which was a mission approved by Petra. Initially, Alder wanted Scylla to be in the Caribbean in a cell somewhere, but instead she's now working on this mission, and we see her reporting back to Willa, aka Rael's mom, and one of the leaders of the spree, about her findings about Jack Orsatti and all of that. Also, we do see Willa briefly having an issue with another spree cell I don't know if it's just a member or if it's a Scylla in general she's having issues, but there's that. But we do also see Scylla taking an older, I guess an old photo of Rael's that Willa has. And with that, though, we have Rael believing that she saw Scylla within range of the testing center. I think she tells Tally at one point that she'd recognize her eyes anywhere. Plus, she also found the photo that Scylla originally took from Willa of Rael. Can you imagine that being weird? You're just at some random event and all of a sudden you see this old photo of you on the floor? That'd be like, wait, what? That'd be weird. We also see briefly Gregorio getting tutored in mother tongue by Adil before we find out that Adil plans to move to India to meet up with Khalida and their people, because Khalida thinks that they found a place to settle down their people in India. That definitely doesn't end well for Adil and Abigail, though, who seem to be on very rough terms with each other. Speaking of the couple, though, hand-festing talks still continue. We have Rael being given these little trading card profile cards of potential candidates from the Imperatrix, and she is just going through them and like kind of amused by the whole thing. Oops, hold on. Sorry. And then we have Petra expressing her approval of Gregorio to Abigail, which Abigail doesn't like, and it's one of the reasons why she invited Rael and Tally to join her for a meal with her mother, so that Tally can ask about all the research, and so that Rael's weapons test could be brought up, which is another thing. Rael's weapons test was praised, but she doesn't do anything with Isadora in this episode. It kind of just seems to be put on pause temporarily. So there's that. Most shocking moment of the episode I would have to see is that the Camarilla are able to have, they are known to be able to steal the vocal cords of witches and use their power of singing song against them. But the shock for me was that they were able to use that to duplicate and manipulate a voice of someone who's already dead. And that was done in the form of Abigail's cousin Charvel, where her voice was used as if she was still alive and breathing, kind of a thing. And that was done by the Camarilla, and that was pretty shocking there that they were able to do that. But let's move on to top 3 favorite moments. I actually tried to pick up on the 2 because because a lot of things were interconnected with each other. But I'd say a huge thing I had was probably Tally's moment with Penelope and trying to help Penelope and her father, Vice President Silver, try to see eye to eye with each other about the situation of how Penelope just found out she's a witch, and being enlisted to join the military, and trying to explain how a parent is now seeing that when they didn't think beforehand that she was a witch, but then also trying to show that from the child's perspective, from Penelope's perspective, her whole world's changing. So many doors are being opened up and new things she has to learn about herself. So Tally being the mediator between the two and trying to bring a peaceful understanding, I really like that. And it didn't occur to me that that would be Tally's mission, like her side mission on this project, when she got told that when M gave Tally new orders. I didn't think it had to be connected with Penelope, but it makes total sense because Tally's also her tutor in a way. So there's that. Another favorite I had is just the growing dynamic between Anacostia and Scylla. We definitely see when they're in the midst of the protesters that they seem to have each other's backs. They're probably more hesitant with each other, but they definitely showed that they were able to get the other one back on track when Scylla wanted to leave because she spotted Rael and she was getting that emotional distraction, and then Anacostia brought her back. And then when Anacostia was being overwhelmed by all the hatred that they were stuck in because of these protesters, Scylla brought her back to the game at hand, and that is to keep eye on Jack or Sadi and figure out what the Camarilla were up to. So I really appreciate that. I'm wondering if their growing dynamic is going to get them to pull away more from their respective sides and try to take them all on their own, kind of thing. So there's that. Now, top peeved. There's no question about it why this was a peeve for me. And that was Abigail following Charvel's voice into a Camarilla trap. It's like, I could understand if Abigail believed that Charvel was missing and they had no leads of whether or not she was dead or alive, and then she suddenly hears her voice, then I could understand wanting to go to it, because then it's like, well, she's alive, she's in trouble and stuff. But Abigail knows that Charvel is dead. So the fact that she's hearing her voice, I'm like, it's obvious it is a trap, and yet she goes to it unprotected. And also with the state of her vocal cords that she's in, it's just like you're in more of a position to be overthrown by them because you're not at your top form. So it really pissed me off because just like Abigail, you know this, like she's usually the strategic one. She doesn't run in head first. And I get that Charvel's a family member, but it's not like she believed that Charvel was alive out there somewhere and she just didn't know where she was. She knew she was already dead. So she already knew that that was not her voice. So that's just what peeved me, because I'm like, Abigail, you know better. And she ended up being ambushed, and it was just like, great. Abigail. Which leads to my random questions right now. The first one being, if Abigail's vocal cords were so damaged as they were to the point where it's like it's hard for her to talk, it's very raspy, and literally she was bleeding from her throat, I'm wondering how she could possibly be cleared and deemed fit for duty if that much damage was done to her vocal cords. Because, especially if her work was all based, like her defense is all based on vocal cord training. Like that's literally where their power comes from, is their ability to make sounds. And yet it was so damaged to the point that her own voice sounds like it's been damaged. I would deem like maybe she would be put on desk duty or something, but it's like, don't put her in the active field. So I'm wondering, why would you put her in active field when she's still recovering? Like that didn't make any sense to me. And then another question is, why is the Camarilla targeting the Bellwethers? I can understand them targeting the Bellwethers that didn't know that they were witches, but they know that like Abigail is trained and like fully like capable and knowing who the Camarilla are. So it's like, why are you going after them specifically? Is it payback for having to go up against Abigail during the wedding? Or is there a reason why the Bellwethers are being targeted specifically? So that's the question there. But let's move on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 205, I saw the Coven following a Halloween tradition in Waking the Dead, from I believe. We also see a masquerade ball that Scylla and Anacostia attend, and then also the Coven being attacked by people on horseback while they try to uphold this Halloween tradition. Now, based off the synopsis though for the episode, it reads, the unit competes for a chance to commune with the dead during Samhain. Scylla and Anacostia search for Camarilla leadership by attending a Halloween gala and make a horrifying discovery. Okay, based off of the way they're phrasing that, I'm going to make my prediction here. I think the discovery about the Camarilla that's going to be made is that someone in the Camarilla leadership is going to either be someone who's well known in the witch military, so they would be the mole, or it could possibly be President Wade, or it could be possibly Vice President Silver. Or, depending on how far back Alder's memories are going that Tally's revisiting, it could be Nick DeBatten as well. I still believe she's connected to the Camarilla if she's not connected to the Spree, but it really all depends how far back Alder's memory is of that. I don't think it's too far back if Petra was part of that mission, or if she remembers it. I don't know. But I don't know, the way that their uniforms looked like, I would think it'd be like decades ago, but I don't. And it's kind of hard because Alder doesn't really age unless like her biddies get attached. But that's what I'm thinking. It's either someone who's inside the Camarilla is someone we know at Fort Salem. It's either, or it's President Wade, or it's Vice President Silver, or it's Nick DeBatten. That's my prediction there, and I'm going to end it right there, guys. So what did you guys think of this episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and opinions about all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. Link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopsis, news, all the good stuff. All found in one place. Go check that out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Motherland Fort Salem, but if I cover any other show that you're interested in, check my Tumblr if it's all in there too as well. Same thing for WordPress. Anything I post online is connected to WordPress. A little more organized, a little more detailed, but still a work in progress as well. And that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. I'm excited and also terrified to see what this new discovery is that they're going to make. But let's find out together. So have a great day, everyone. Take care, and bye for now.